Hey y'all, and welcome to the Max Life. I'm in the process of catching up on our butter. So I went one day without making butter. I have already spun one container. This is my second. This will be my third and my fourth, and we haven't skimmed cream for today. So to tell you we're getting an abundance of cream right now is beyond words, but it is a huge blessing because when we have calves on the calves take all the cream all day long, which means we don't get any butter. So during this time when the calves are not on their moms, while we're still milking before we dry them up again, is when it is butter making time. So I will be processing a total of 4 jars of butter today, which yields me, this is probably about a pound. So each half container, I can't fill this all the way up because this was only halfway, and when it starts spinning it rises. So if I have it any higher, it will literally come out of the top. Ask me how I know, because I have cleaned up butter milk from all over this counter before, and it is not fun moving all of my appliances and cleaning up that butter. So I can only do half of a jar at a time, which will yield me probably close to 3 pounds of butter at the end, and that's in 2 days, which is a wonderful thing. I'm gonna give y'all a sneak peek in the freezer of some butter that I have already been doing. This is several things of butter that I've already been doing. Now when I get a stash too big for the freezer, I will literally start pulling that out, melting it down on the stove, and canning that. Yes, you can butter. And that is actually my favorite way to put up butter. And for the big reveal. Now the coloring is not done, but I have something exciting to show y'all. This room is now complete, y'all. We are so excited about, yes, all that shelf space. Yes, lots and lots of shelf space. So we completed this room right here. If you guys have been with us for a really long time, you will know that once upon a time, this was a garage door that went all the way across. We closed in the garage and walled up the middle. This used to be Colby's shop side where we kept random tools, air compressors, the milk cart, and things like that. But over time, I have realized that with all of our butchering items, food preserving items, then when you get all the food preserved, you have to have somewhere to put it. So my shelf for a family of 8 was not cutting it. So what we decided to do is come in and paint this room. The floor is pretty yuck, so I'm gonna scrape this up. Then I'm going to hand scrub the floor. We're gonna put some stain on it, and then I will be staining these shelves just to let them match the rest of the house. We will juggle some freezers around in here. So this section over here is pretty well going to be freezers. And I'm going to have all of the other shelves. Most of these are built over here for quart jars. I have one size right here that can fit gallon jars and half-gallon jars. This section right here is going to be somewhat of like a working station for me. Of course, you guys see my WeBack food seal that has already been kicked out of my pantry and in here because there's just not enough room. This over here is going to also just be where I can put some stuff in drawers and underneath, and also have another somewhat working station if needed. Big shelves. Now these big shelves will mostly be to house things like my hot water bath canners and my pressure canners, things like that. Same over here, tall food things like crock pots, Instapots, things like that I don't use every day. Our cream separator. An iced cookie? Yeah. You don't need an iced cookie right now. Conversations with toddlers. This section over here will be where some of those items, like I was telling y'all, that are in my kitchen right now on the counter that I just don't use every day, I need out of the kitchen. I have everything from a food saver, vacuum seal, to a dehydrator. My mixer, of course, will stay because I pretty much do use that every day. Cream separator, like I told you guys, crock pots, Instapots, all of that stuff I really need out of my kitchen. So I'm very thankful we had this garage space, which has now turned into basically a storage room, a food storage room. And we have a lot of work on our hands. As you can see, that is a lot of shelves to stain, and it will take me a couple of days staining from morning to night. But we're gonna knock out the floors first, which I'm gonna be starting as soon as I finish the butter and lunch. We are going to go ahead and start on the floor in here and get one thing at a time knocked out.
Mama.
You working on it for me?
Mama.
I am about to show y'all why I invested in an electric cheese grater, and this is why. It will do multiple things other than just grate cheese, okay? Squash is one of those. I have a little hand crank one, and the top is very small, and doing this amount of squash literally takes all day. So I decided to pay $80 and invest in an electric grater for those squash to free up some of my time, because it would literally take me an entire day. Believe me, I've already done it. 2 full days of hand grating all of those squash and making squash patties. And it is not the most fun thing to do in the world. I do enjoy doing it because it is putting up food for my family. But hand grating those are not a lot of fun. I'm just going to be completely honest with y'all. And Colby and Aiden have been mowing and weed eating and blowing all day. We've been kind of cleaning out the pool. One of the benefits of having something like a pool is inviting people over to your house. So our youth group is coming. We usually do 2 swim parties a year in the summer, sometimes even 3. We do one for our youth in the church, one for our kids in the church, and sometimes our homeschool group as well, which we've already done our homeschool group. Our church youth is coming over Wednesday night, so we have been getting the pool cleaned out, kind of prepping, cleaning up the grass, you know, all those fun things. But I bet I know somebody that's gonna swim today.
I am. Get your Addy. You go live.
Where are your feet? Oh, it's over there. An all day in the kitchen kind of ordeal. I made up almost 3 pounds of butter, which was mini jars that you've seen this morning. That is done. I also made up a batch of cheese, which is right here. I will have to pop this cheese out in a little while and get in the freezer, because I'll already have this cheese right here. And if you guys have not seen my cheese video, many of y'all have made it and have let me know how much you love it. So thank you guys for the feedback. I always really appreciate that. Also going on, you've seen I just loaded my freeze dryer with a ton of eggs. We had eggs overflowing, more eggs than we could tolerate. It was really out of control. So I put them in the freeze dryer. I just pulled these out of the oven. I stuck them in the oven as I made a peach cobbler, which is going to be dessert tonight alongside our sloppy joes. Some people call it manwich, and homemade bread. We are going to have peach cobbler, french fries, We had french fries for lunch. Yes, I know. Y'all don't get mad at me. I've been in the kitchen all day, so we're going to do french fries again. Along with some homemade ice cream, which I have made up right here. I just have not. It is right there if you guys see it. I have it made up. I'm just not going to turn it on until we are ready for that. But what I'm going to do with these eggshells, they've got to cool off a little bit more. I can't put them in my grinder while they're this hot. But I have, it's not a commercial size, but it's commercial power. And that's what I need, is the power grinder. All of these eggshells are going to be going over into that. I'm going to be powdering those eggshells for calcium for my tomatoes. My tomatoes, I have spotted a little bit of blossom end rot at the bottom of my tomatoes, and basically what that is your fruit sets. If it needs more calcium, you will get a dark spot basically where it's rotting at the bottom, which is not a good thing. And we are dealing with some new soil over in those raised pots where my tomatoes are, so I'm going to be making my own calcium using those eggshells, grinding into powder and putting those over into my pot. It will solve the problem because calcium is the main problem there. But we are done for the day. I have supper and dessert done. Most of the chores, we didn't get to all the chores that we needed to do. It took a little bit longer than expected, but we're about to have the rest of the afternoon is going to be family game night. So some are swimming. When they get out in just a minute, we're going to hit the pond and fish for a little while. Then we are going to be playing some games tonight and just kind of wind down, get things off of our mind, de-stress, decompress, and have fun with our family. Because after all of our farm chores is all done, that's what is really is all about, is family time. Guys, thank you so much for always tagging along with us, watching our family, watching our farm. Guys, we appreciate y'all more than you know. Thank you. God bless and happy homesteading, y'all.